Hi, good morning. Let's warm up with cat-cows. Let's do some leg lifts from the cat-cows. And let's do some more back stuff, and then let's go into some side body exercises today. So let's start with being on all four. Let's have our feet flexed, so working on our toes as well. Knees are under the hips, arms are under the armpits. Open your fingers wide. Press your palm and fingers into the mat. Head is in neutral, pelvis is in neutral. And let's start out by curling our pelvis down. So let's go into a C curve, but the movement starts with curling the pelvis down, bringing our sit bones closer to our knees, coming into this C shape. The head arrives down last. You can also stay here, rock back and forth a couple times. The pelvis is still curled down. And let's start initiating the movement by lifting the head. So the head lifts, the chest bone drops, the arms stay straight, the arms are pressing into the floor, the belly drops down, and lastly, the sit bones are widening and opening. We can also keep this shape and then shift forward and back a couple of times here. And then let's start curling the pelvis down again. So bring your sit bones closer to the knees by curling the pelvis, by coming into this C shape, pushing the floor away with your hands. The head arrives last. And then the head initiates the movement. Start curling the head. Start dropping the breastbone, sternum, and start opening the sit bones wide open. You can also rock side to side, forward and back. Keep your sit bones wide open. And then start curling the pelvis back down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Head arrives down. I'm in the C position. And then let's shift the feet. Let's go into a pointed feet, so we're stretching the front of the ankle as well. Press the floor away with your hands. Press your shins into the mat, and then let's start lifting the head, dropping the sternum, the breastbone, arms stay straight, and then the pelvis opens, sit bones open. Rock back and forth a couple of times. Keep pressing the shins into the mat. Curl the pelvis, come into a C shape. Head arrives down last. Maintain this pelvic curl. You can also shift forward and back a couple of times, but keep the tension in your hamstrings. And then come back to neutral, lift your head, drop the sternum, and then open up the sit bones. If you want, and if you're up for the challenge, if you feel warm enough, you can flex your toes, and we can also do this in a floating cat. So what that means is that you're pressing the ball of the feet into the mat. You hovering your knees off a couple inches, just like an inch, because that's the hardest. And push your hands into the mat. Fingers are open, and start curling your pelvis while your knees are in space hold. Curl the pelvis, drop your head, and then the head initiates the movement. Keep pushing the floor away. Sternum bone drops, pelvis opens. Let's do one more. Curl the pelvis, hover your knees, drop your head. Head initiates the movement. Drop your sternum, open up your sit bones wide. Now let's come down. Let's go into a wide knee child's pose. Now let's do 4 deep breaths into our belly. Bring your butt on your heels if you can, and bring your forehead down. And 4 deep breaths into the belly. Deep inhale and long exhale. And 4. Let's go back into on all fours, and let's be in a neutral tilt. Palms under your armpit, palm pressed into the mat, fingers are wide open. And let's start with the left side. So I'm keeping my right foot pointed, and I'm just sliding my left leg back. And if you're up for it, if you're not in pain, you can also lift the leg back up. If you notice that you're shifting to the side, try to prevent that from happening. Bring the leg back down and lift it back up. If this is too hard, then you can just keep your toes, keep your foot on the mat, and then just slide it out and bring it back in. Let's do 4 of this. Lift the leg, if you can, and bring it back down. You can also do this with just keeping the knee bent and lifting your bent knee up. The hardest for me is just keeping my arms straight and preventing my upper body from collapsing in, and also preventing my body from shifting. Let's do 6. After 6, bring the leg back in. You can rock it out a couple of times and then switch to the other side. So left shin in, fingers pressing, palm pressing, arms straight. Slide, option 1, slide the toes back and forth. Option 2, lift your bent knee. Option 3, slide the foot out, the left foot, right foot, sorry, and then lift and lower the right leg 6 times. Again, keep your arms straight, keep pushing the floor away, and prevent your body from shifting to the left. Five and 6. Rock a couple of times back and forth, or child's pose, whichever feels comfortable. Let's go back on the left leg and let's slide the leg out, lift it up, and turn your knee out to the side and bring it back in. And here the goal is to keep pushing the floor away, keeping the arms straight, and prevent your pelvis from moving, so the pelvis stays stable. It's only the knee is the one rotating. So what's happening here is that this is external rotation, or turning out. You're moving your thigh bone in the hip socket. So you should feel this in your left butt. Just 6. Bring it back in, and let's switch to the right side. The leg kicks back, lift the leg, and then right knee rotates out, comes back to point down, right knee rotates out, back down. Just 6. Bring the leg back in, and let's lie down face down for a neck stretch. So bring your knees together, bring your heels together, press your pubic bone into the mat, and turn towards the right side, arms by your side, and let's do 3 deep breaths here. Deep inhale into the chest, and then long exhale out. To switch, I'm keeping my shoulders down, I'm keeping my arms down, I'm just lifting my head, turning my nose down, and turning my head to my left. And 3 deep breaths into the belly here. Knees together, heels together, pubic bone pressed into the mat. Deep inhale and long exhale. After 3, lift the head, turn it back down, nose pointing down. You're going to keep your knees together, keep your feet pointed. You're going to bring your hands behind your occiput. And we're going to curl back and come up as high as you can. So head initiates the movement and curl up as high as you can, and then take your time lowering down. The head comes down last. Let's do 6. Press your feet, the shins, the knees and your thighs into the mat. Inhale as you lift up and exhale as you come down. And let's bring your arms to the side. Turn your head to the right and 3 deep breaths into the belly. Deep inhale and long exhale. After 3, lift your head, shoulder stays down, and turn your head to your left. And 3 more deep breaths into the chest. Deep inhale and long exhale. Next, lift your head, bring it back down, your nose pointing down, bring your hands behind your occiput, and we're going to lift up, touch your elbows if you can, open your elbows back out to the side, and lower down. So keep pressing your feet, press your shin, press your knee, engage your inner thighs together, press your pubic bone into the mat, and curl back. So that's 1. Touch your elbows, that's 2. Open back out to the side, and lower down, that's 4. Let's do 6. So lift, touch, open, lower. Lift, touch, open, lower. Lift, touch, open, lower. Lift, touch, open, lower, and 1 more. Lift, touch, open, and lower. Turn your head to the left. 3 deep breaths. This is hard, I hate this. After the 3rd deep breath, lift your head, shoulder stays down, turn your head to the right. And 3 more deep breaths in. And let's finish with some side body. Let's do the banana. We haven't done that. So this exercise is pretty hard. So if this is too advanced, then I suggest you do just bending your bottom leg, keeping your top leg straight, come up into your forearm. Belly is in, pelvis is stable, and you're just lifting and lowering your leg, your top leg, without moving your pelvis 8 times, and then you do this on the other side as well. But if you're up for the challenge, let's do, it's called banana. So here, the goal is that you keep your knees together, keep your inner thighs squeezed together, keep your pelvis upright. So don't let your pelvis shuffle forward or back. Your top hand is pressing into the mat and your bottom arm is straight. The palm faces up. And let's do that you're lifting your upper body up 4 times by pressing your hand into the ground. Come up and then lower down. 2, 3, and 4. The second part of this exercise is that you keep pressing your hand in and you're lifting your legs up 4 times. Squeeze your inner thighs together, squeeze your sit bones together, and lift just the legs. Just 4 times. And after 4, we're going to combine the upper and lower body. Just for 4. Press the hands in, palm is up, and let's lift up. 1, 2, that's hard, and 3, and 4. And let's do this on the other side. So for modification, forearm, pelvis stable, bottom leg bent, lift and lower your top leg, but prevent the pelvis from shifting. Only the leg is doing the work. So for those who are for the challenge, banana on the left side. Let's start with the leg. Lift the legs 4 times. Squeeze your inner thighs, your knees, and sit bones together. Prevent your pelvis from rocking back and forth. That's 4. Upper part. Push the floor away. 2, 3, and 4. And now let's combine the 2. Push the hand into the mat. Lift both legs and upper body up. 2. And you see that the range of motion is different on your 2 sides. So on one side you may not be able to lift the legs as high, or your upper body doesn't come up as much. And I think that's normal. It's very hard to attain a completely balanced body. I think that's 4. And let's finish with a double knee stretch. Maybe this wasn't even that of a beginner class. Straighten your legs, bring your knees to your chest. Keep your tailbone down if it's available to you. Just lift the legs up. I hope this was good. I'll see you at another time. Thank you. Have a good day.